The real reason why everyone hates Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has once again been the subject of media attention. The Athletic reported on his tumultuous first season with the Denver Broncos on Friday. The report included details about his staff and input on the playbook, his big boy office with an open-door policy, and his habit of incorporating inspirational quotes into the huddle as if he were starring in his own personal Rudy film. Before being traded to Denver, it was alleged that he had approached Seahawks ownership to request the dismissal of head coach Pete Carroll and general manager John Schneider. Wilson promptly denied that particular claim. However, it is not difficult to accept, given the dissolution of his professional relationship with Carroll. Russell Wilson has been the subject of numerous allegations in recent years, including that he is a diva, has an enormous ego, associates more with management than with players, is excessively preoccupied with his brand, and is a cornball. However, the daggers have come out after he had his worst year as a quarterback since he was drafted in 2012 and led the sinking ship that was the 2022 Denver Broncos, along with coach Nathaniel Hackett. His former coach has made subtle barbs, his former teammates have made less subtle digs, and even a kicker has gotten in a few jabs. In addition, the typical assortment of commentators who regard each game as a referendum on the extent to which Wilson's standing in the league is declining is a factor. This type of pile-on is common. When one fails to emerge victorious, their shortcomings and failings are exacerbated. Wilson, on the other hand, may experience a sense of excess at times. More than mere disagreement regarding Wilson's behavior is at play in this instance. Both those who are acquainted with him and those who do not appear to have direct, authentic animosity toward him. Richard Sherman, Wilson's former teammate who served as the Legion of Boom's most vocal spokesperson during their Super Bowl 48 victory, appears to be relishing his decline the most. He has never hesitated to disclose his concerns to Wilson. The infamous final play in Super Bowl 49, in which Wilson threw a goal-line interception while the entire world was screaming for him to send the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, is the source of many of those issues. Although it was a poor decision, it was a symptom of an organization demonstrating favoritism to Wilson, who in their opinion had become separate from the team and more or less aligned with management. Sherman and many others viewed it as a symptom of this behavior. It is irrelevant whether or not that is entirely equitable. They think that it is. The team's animosity toward Russell Wilson appeared to be a continuation of their resentment toward their head coach. As the relationship between Pete and Russ deteriorated, Sherman, armed with a new podcast, launched an "I Told You So" campaign regarding the Seahawks front office's devotion to Wilson. In fairness to Sherman, it does not appear that he is in error. The recurring theme in all of these narratives about Wilson is that he has distanced himself from his teammates, essentially acting as a second coach on the field or, in some cases, the cool boss. This is the type of individual who will throw 3 interceptions and then bring in a frozen margarita machine on casual Fridays to appear to be your friend. Sure, it is irritating, and it may even be considered trite. Is it significantly different from Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? I am not entirely persuaded. The reason for the apparent outpouring of animosity toward Wilson is that he is perceived as a fraud. The one thing to which all individuals respond negatively is the appearance of being phony. Although Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving may be genuine kooks, they are sincere about it. While earnestness is amusing, it is also simple to admire. Russell Wilson's entire persona appears to have been subjected to market testing by a regulated council of image experts. From his insistence on having a slogan for the team he is playing for, to the inspirational quotes in his office, to stunts such as working out on an aircraft and informing the press, it transcends the realm of a try-hard and becomes a ridiculously stage-managed experience. To paraphrase another image-conscious husk of a human being, there is an idea of a Russell Wilson, a form of abstraction, but there is no actual version of him. The query that arises is, why does anyone believe that they are entitled to the real Russ? Society has long been guilty of the detrimental practice of seeking access to the more intimate aspects of our public figures to establish a stronger connection with them. Although the majority of individuals are amenable to complying, we have a negative reaction to those who refuse, especially if the alternative is a version that is more PR-friendly. Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods are two examples of individuals who experienced this phenomenon. Neither of those individuals was necessarily deceptive. However, their meticulousness regarding the items they provided inspired a desire to unearth information in any available location. The sole noteworthy aspect of Russell Wilson is his marriage to Ciara, which has only served to intensify the conflicting opinions regarding him. The very simple and tired argument about whether or not he is corny or uncool has been rooted in their relationship. Wilson is unquestionably a moron. However, what is the significance of this? It is acceptable to be saccharine. In fact, many individuals appreciate it, especially as they age. This is the type of issue that exclusively affects black athletes and celebrities, as if being fashionable is a natural privilege of the black race. White athletes are less likely to have their corniness exploited. Baker Mayfield's corniness has only served to increase his commercial appearances. Particularly concerning the black quarterback, there are perpetually outstanding inquiries. We have become accustomed to their presence. However, there is still a racial dynamic concerning quarterback play, the pocket passer or the run or scramble first individual. In this era of quarterbacking, the division is not the most precise, but Wilson has made a concerted effort to designate himself as the former. This has been advantageous to him as a player and detrimental to him as a person. Wilson lacks the suave attributes that Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts are admired for rightfully, but he also earns more respect for the more cerebral aspects of his game in a manner that those players will never achieve unfairly. Additionally, to return to Wilson's perception of himself as a member of the management team. Despite the potential injustice, a black man's decision to align himself with the front office, which is predominantly white, rather than the predominantly black team, will convey a distasteful message to the public in a manner that will not apply to Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. In all honesty, the fact that the Colin Cowherds of the world admires you is not likely to endear you to the majority of individuals. All of this, from his managerial position to the phoniness to the brand overkill to the worsening play, has culminated in a perfect maelstrom of resentment and animosity that has finally found an opening to release itself. While a significant portion of it is undoubtedly earned, it is also likely to be unjust. Several of the statements made about Russell Wilson have become burdensome over time. On Sherman's podcast, even Wilson's former teammate Marshawn Lynch, who never quite formed a connection with Wilson, expressed concern about Wilson's mentality during the events of the previous year. He expressed his desire to communicate with him out of benevolence, but he implied that he would need to go through Wilson's manager to do so, which further fueled rumors about the distance he maintained from many of his teammates. However, all of the reasons for Russell Wilson's hatred are ultimately circumstantial. The situation he requested was granted to him, and he experienced his most unsuccessful career year in the league. It will not matter what the reasons are for the reasons people hate him if he can perform better under the new head coach, Sean Payton. Silence is a prerequisite for success. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below with your thoughts.